Kia ora, everybody. Good morning for those of you on the West Coast, and good afternoon for those of you joining us on the East Coast. My name is Renata West, and it is my privilege today to be introducing you to the country where I come from originally, Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I have a very long background up here in this market, moving to work with Tourism New Zealand in the LA office around 7 years ago, and then I had a number of roles since then, including at wholesalers like Qantas Vacations and Travel 2. And in the middle of the pandemic, I started my representation agency, Pacific Storytelling. We focused on people, culture, and place, and specifically on the people, culture, and places of the South Pacific. And one of the countries that we love to focus on is, of course, Aotearoa, New Zealand. But myself and my team, we're all based in California, so we're on your time zone, and we're here to help and support our travel trade partners to make New Zealand the easiest destination to sell. Now, just a bit of housekeeping. If you do require to leave the presentation for any reason, we are recording and we will make this available after today's session. We also have a special guest presenter today, Jason Goodson, who is an expert in adventure and youth travel and runs his own tour company in New Zealand, so we'll hear from him. If you have any technical difficulties, or if you have any questions, please do field those through the question and answer function or the chat function. I'll be monitoring those in the background. But I do want to just mention something that you may have seen in the news this morning, is that New Zealand has had a significant amount of rain in the last 24 hours in particular. And Auckland, the major gateway to New Zealand, is actually under a civil defence state of emergency. Now, this is all being handled under the coordinated control of the Auckland City Council in partnership with the New Zealand federal government as well. So they have a handle on the situation. If you do have clients on the ground, currently we do recommend that you contact your DMC or tour operator partner as your first priority. There is also Tourism New Zealand as an added resource, and you can also contact us. We'll connect you with our contacts to the best of our ability. If your clients are on the ground currently and are needing assistance, if it is an emergency, the emergency number for contact is 111. 111 in New Zealand will get you the emergency services if you are in imminent danger. But for all reports, there doesn't seem to be any loss of life or anything like that. It just seems to be a major inconvenience for people on the ground, including our guest presenter, Jason, who has been stuck at airports as a result of all of this. As well. Auckland Airport, you may have seen some footage, has been diverting flights to Christchurch and Wellington as a result of this as well. So it is an unfolding situation, and we'll do our best to keep you updated of all of that as we go along. I do want to mention whereabouts in the world New Zealand is and how big we are. We are similar in size to California or the United Kingdom or Japan, but with a much smaller population. We only have a population now of around 4.5, maybe 5 million people on the ground. So you have a lot of wide open spaces ready for adventure, whether that be from up above or from down below, as I'm sure Jason will illuminate us on as well. Getting to Aotearoa, New Zealand has never been easier from this market. We have the most non-stops ever in Auckland. The major gateway actually has over 50 flights a week from this market. These are your main carriers who service New Zealand. We have a couple of extra gateways to this map, including Chicago. In New Zealand service Chicago, as well as JFK, New York, which is a new service which started late last year as well. So that's a non-stop service straight through to Auckland. American Airlines fly to New Zealand via their hub in Dallas, United via San Francisco, or if you're wanting to combine the destination with some of our other Pacific destinations, you can look at Air Tahiti Nui, stopping in Tahiti, Hawaiian or Fiji. Just a reminder that we also represent a number of products in the South Pacific. So if you are going to stop in Tahiti, for example, we have a great partner there in Tahiti Islands Travel who can help organize and make your planning as stress-free as possible. We will be going through the destination in a lot of detail, but just wanting to sort of focus particularly on the temperature that to expect. New Zealand is a very mild climate, temperate, in fact, on the north. And you can see the average temperatures here. Your North Island will be slightly warmer than the south, and you can see that reflected in the temperatures. Spring is the perfect time. Shoulder season, the spring and the fall is the perfect time, especially for adventure travel and for those younger people in your life to get down there. You can see that it's pretty mild and cool in the mornings, but then warms up to a nice, reasonable temperature in the afternoon, perfect for getting out and about and for doing a lot of activities out in nature as well. So what to bring? Well, that is bring a good attitude, plenty of change of layers. New Zealand's temperature and climate can change quite significantly in a matter of hours. So do pack your layers, pack something warm, and always pack your sunscreen. We do have quite a thin ozone layer down in that part of the world. So recommend whatever time of the year you're there to definitely pack your SPF with you as well. Now, before I hand it over to Jason, I just want to update you on some of the services that we offer at Pacific Storytelling. We run a free cultural sensitivity program, which is housed on our training library on our website, pacificstorytelling.com. Also on that site, you can find our range of partners, including our partners at Tataki Auckland Unlimited, Tourism Auckland, Tourism Bay of Plenty, who we're going to hear from in our monthly training next month, and they've got some exciting stuff on the horizon there, as well as Destination Queenstown, the home of adventure in the south as well. We run a range of activities, including organising key agent fan trips down to the destination, so keep an eye on your inbox for those invites. And the best way to hear about those fan invites is by signing up to our regular dedicated newsletter as well. We run webinar training once a month live, and we also record those and make them available for you on demand via our online training library at pacificstorytelling.com. Now, that's it from me. I'm going to be in the background and I'm going to hand it over to Jason, but I'm just going to ask Jason to give us a quick update from his perspective of what's going on the ground down there at the moment, and I'll hand it over to you. But you take it away, Jason.
Cool. Thanks, Renata. Hi, kia ora. Hello, everyone. Greetings from New Zealand, actually currently in Queenstown. Just a quick update on the situation with our flooding. So Auckland Airport was closed last night due to flooding inside the terminal, and also a plane damaging one of the lights on the runway. So flights are looking to open at noon today, which is about 4 to 5 hours at the earliest. They're looking at opening the airport again. We currently have a tour starting tomorrow, so a lot of our customers supposed to fly in today have had no indication of rescheduling yet. So some are saying maybe past 3rd or 4th of February. Flights from Australia, Tahiti, anywhere from to Auckland has been cancelled. So we're working on that. So the timing has been quite disruptive, but yeah, we should be able to get things going in Auckland. It's declared state of emergency, but things should be clearing up by the end of today. It stopped raining last night at about 11 o'clock, so things should be fine. Anywho, more to the positive. So I'm the founder and sales manager of Backyard Roadies. I'm just going to share my screen with everyone quickly. Great. Awesome. So Backyard Roadies is a COVID baby. We're about 2.5 years old, which is very exciting. And we launched in October 2020. Now the name Backyard Roadies was decided at the time. We were targeting the domestic audience. So roadies, which is road trip, i.e. travel, and backyard being our backyard, wanting to share our backyard together or share it with visitors from overseas. And a bit about us. So how we became. So the idea of Backyard Roadies, I launched in the wake of COVID. So when I decided I wanted to start the business, at the time I wanted to be a tour guide again. I was a tour guide prior in Thailand and the Philippines. And I came back home just before COVID started and was working corporate and wanted to go back into tourism and applied for roles as a tour guide for other larger companies here. But unfortunately at the time, nobody was operating. And a lot of the other local suppliers that depended on these bus tours were also struggling. Hostels were closing down, etc. So I decided to make a leap of faith and create these multi-day tours, which at the time when I started were 4 days long. Fast forward till now, we have about 4 different tours that we package up and up to 28-day tours around the whole country, which is exciting. And I've been supporting local businesses and small operators since then. And we've probably run about 35 tours now, which is super exciting. And for us, we concentrate on connection, but traveling with Backyard Roadies means getting amongst authentic, a real cultural experience led by local guides, so people that were born and raised in New Zealand. And our tours are up to 12 people, and we drive a 12-seater minibus with a luggage trailer. So we keep our tours very small, intimate, and quite personalized. So one tour guide / driver and 11 customers and guests in the vehicle. We tailor our tours to the 18 to 35 demographic, but more than happy to accept people, any age, as long as they're over 18. We're inclusive and open to all. And yeah, basically, at the time we launched, we were just diving in head first. So we wanted the locals to rediscover New Zealand, to learn more about the cultural and Māori aspect of New Zealand and the stories here from the top of New Zealand to the bottom, and share that with the domestic audience. And now the borders are open, we're sharing it with our international visitors, which is super exciting. Now, this is a photo from the Able Tasman, so a kayaking tour we did. Another thing we like to present to people is why choose us? What's different to us than other tour operators? We're smaller, we're New Zealand locally owned. So I'm the owner and I have a team under me of a few drivers and an operations manager. But connection is a huge thing that we like to really concentrate on our tours. So, it's been an era of disconnect. We've been locked in our homes during lockdown, locked from the world, not able to travel prior. But our aim is to make you feel connected, on our tours. So connect with the people, with friends, old and new, connect with the land. So learning the stories about New Zealand, how it started, from a science point, and then also from a stories point, which is exciting, and connect with experience, but ultimately connect with yourself. I found while backpacking or traveling alone or doing tours, I got to do things out of my comfort zone, meet new people, talk to people I wouldn't normally talk to, do activities I wouldn't try doing. We really try to promote that. For us, we want to separate ourselves from that 18 to 35 sort of party demographic. We want to be able to tailor our tours for people that are wanting their dollars to go further, whether it's on activities, whether it's on dinners. Instead of making alcohol a focus, we sort of make it a bonus. So after a long day of snowboarding or hiking or surfing, a beer or a wine's great. But for us, we really try not to push that drinking culture here. Experience. So we do provide an incredible holiday experience right here in our backyard for you. We guide you to travel our country like a local. So we stay in places a little bit longer than most other youth operators would do. Instead of rushing you around the country, we give you an opportunity to stay places 2-3 nights so that you can really get grounded, get to meet some locals. And traveling in a group of 12, it gives you a truly sort of intimate experience. You know, you get to know your local tour leaders more than usual. You get to know our local operators and companies that we work with at a deeper level too. So that sort of traveling like a local feel is when you're on a road trip, you know, or you're going away for the weekend, you know, you try not to rush it. You want to sort of, you know, make it feel like a holiday and relax. So for us, we really don't want to try not to, you know, get somewhere late, get them out for the nighttime, and in the morning pack the van and get away straight away. We kind of want them to settle, you know, unpack their bags and relax and enjoy the town we're in. Wholesome vibes. So this is an interesting factor that we really implemented into our trip so that we could really tailor it for, you know, extroverts, introverts, and be able to basically just be known as a more sort of wholesome tour. So not so much of a party tour, which it's been quite a challenge to really promote. But everyone's welcome on a Backyard Roadies tour, whether you join solo, with a partner, with friends, you know, introvert, extrovert, no problem, no matter orientation, inclination, or persuasion. We want to create a safe, inclusive Backyard Roadies crew or family as we become on our tours. So as diverse as we are, so our activities and our style of travel. So we make sure everyone's cup is full, which is great. And our story. So Aotearoa or New Zealand is steeped in history. Everywhere we take you will be a story. Backyard Roadies has a story too. So myself being able to create this opportunity for myself and for other local operators. It came on a full cycle of sort of self-discovery and meaningful exploration to reimagine what it means to have a memorable travel experience during COVID. A lot of people sort of forgot the feeling of traveling during that time. And it's obviously a manifestation from myself, you know, no cash backing, no multinational corporate, just myself and, you know, a good bunch of youth mental health and small group advocates, you know, tours around New Zealand, which is really cool. So that's something that we really want to concentrate on. And lastly, whānau, which is in Te Reo Māori, which means family. So family is everything at Backyard Roadies, the travelers, the guides, the locals, the iwis, which is the Māori tribes, and the operators. So each bringing a unique energy and passion to our purpose. Coming on a Backyard Roadies means that, you know, you'll be joining a family. You'll be creating a family in your 12-seater bus with your friends and your new guide. So fellow roadies, you know, may just live around may just live around the corner. So if you're based in Auckland or you've moved here to work, you might finish your tour and still have friends. And we do hope that, you know, your new mates or friends on the tour, you know, remain connected long after the road trip ends. What makes us different, which is really important, is accessible. We're accessible, we're meaningful, we're ethical, and we're inclusive, I think is important. Meaningful, so we all travel for sorts of reasons, but there is a certain beauty of exploring different countries or backyards with potential to create long-term connections, whether with people there or with the area. You might want to decide to stay, leave, or hopefully come back and bring your family with you to live here. Accessibility. So this was quite important when we launched because we were trying to serve the domestic audience. So most of us are busy, we have commitments. So for those that don't have a few weeks of holiday or only have a short time, some of our tours are quite short. So we go up to 4 days long. So if you've only got a little bit of time, we can definitely show you a good experience in that duration. Ethical. So the uncertainty of 2020 showed us why we should stick together, stay strong, as we say kia kaha here in New Zealand today, stay strong. We hope to educate the people and connect people around the world, and the environment's super important to us. So sustainability is something that we're working on every day to make sure we look after our country, and hope our visitors do the same. So sharing one vehicle in general will help us decrease our carbon footprint, less plastic use, and being able to you know, do beach cleanups or areas when the rubbish cuts add up. And inclusive. So yeah, we're young. We absolutely love to have a good time. Comes in different shapes and forms. Some people like to go out for beers. Some people like to go for a hike in the morning. Some people like to jam pack 5 activities in a day. You know, whether it's a jet boat, whether it's a bungee. So yeah, we try to make sure everyone feels included, whatever their idea of fun can be. What to expect on a backyard roadie? So here's some founding principles that we like to present. I'll give you a good idea what we're about. So traveling solo. So again, you can come by yourself, you can come with anyone you need, as long as you feel comfortable. People always ask, can I come solo? And I think most of our travelers, 90% come solo on our tours. So super exciting. 12 people as well. So it doesn't feel as overwhelming as being on a 30, 40 people bus, especially with the new Z Gen that are more about sort of meaningful travel. Being in large groups can be quite intimidating. Anxiety is building up for some people as well, not being able to travel, stuck in their homes. So keeping the tours small, there's a little bit less pressure on people. And again, traveling like a local for us, super important. That's something that we want to give the feeling to, not just feeling like a number on a bus or another tourist that they're pushing through. We want them to feel like they're on a road trip with their friends. As the small van, small group feel gives you that, and staying in places longer gives you that as well. Let yourself be guided. So really sort of trusting your guides. Our guides are young, so they're similar age to people doing the tour, which is great, either in their late 20s, early 30s. Grown up in New Zealand, and they know a lot of the hidden gems. Being in a smaller vehicle means we can go down those off the beaten tracks and get to those hidden gems or favorite spots growing up as a kid here in New Zealand. So yeah, the guide definitely is more than just a driver. Will become a really close friend, a host, a driver, and I'm sure you'll create a long-term connection with that guide. Wholesome vibes, I touched on that already, but again, we tried to make sure everyone feels safe on a tour. So even if someone doesn't drink or doesn't want to party, then we absolutely look after them as well and don't make them feel like an outsider, as some tours can do that to people. Cool. Now, tour basics covered. So whilst on tour, you can expect to where to stay, what's included, who we work with, who we don't, and where we stay. So we mainly use multi-share accommodation. So we use backpackers or hostels, lodges, or holiday parks from 4 to 6 bed dorm rooms. Which unfortunately, during COVID, we actually lost half of our hostels. So half of our dorm beds in New Zealand disappeared due to lack of tourists. So a lot of these hostels are shut down. So currently we're using backpackers, 4 to 6 bed dorms to create a community vibe, get people to know each other. We put the same sex always in the same dorm, so girls with girls and boys with boys, to make sure everyone feels safe. We use a 12-seater minibus equipped with a luggage trailer. So obviously it's not as long as a big commercial bus, and we can also get around a little bit quicker too, which is nice. Who we work with is all local suppliers. So we have no affiliations or ties with any huge corporate companies or other tour companies, We have the flexibility to work with local suppliers for all activities and support local Māori, especially with our cultural activities, which we include on every single tour. There's always an opportunity to learn about the culture, meet some locals and learn about Māori and then some te reo, which is awesome. And food. So we offer all breakfasts on all our trips. So it's normally all accommodation, all transport, and all breakfasts with the occasional lunch or group dinner, depending on which tour you book and which area we're in at the time. So when we're in remote locations where food needs to be provided, our guides will normally cook them a barbecue or a Kiwi dinner, which is really cool. And their end of the bargain, all we ask is that they organize their own flights, their insurance, their visas and things. So once they arrive in New Zealand, they meet us at the pickup zone. And then from there, we'll look after them all the way till the end of the tour, whichever tour they choose. Some of our tours here, just show you the retail net rate. So our 4-day Tasman and our 4-day Far North is the same price for retail, $1,000.99 New Zealand dollars. And we're offering our agents a 15% commission. So the net rate there, as you can see, $934.15. 4-day Tasman is in Nelson. So that's the top of the South Island. These are both like very sort of summery tours. A lot of beach, a lot of swimming. We always offer a exclusive sailing trip on the catamaran, which was shown in one of the other slides. And we also offer a Māori activity, whether it's learning how to paddle a waka, which is the Māori canoe, or learning how to carve your own greenstone, which is amazing. Learning the haka, which is our war dance. Having a New Zealand hangi, which is a dinner we cook underground. Or even just learning about the stories from different Maori tribes in different areas of New Zealand. So these are our shortest tours, about 4 days. The 4-day far north can actually join onto a 10-day North Island, which I'll show here, which creates a 14-day tour. So they're all packaged up. The 10-day North Island starts in Auckland and also finishes in Wellington. You can see there's the prices there. And the 10-day South Island is a tour that starts and finishes in Christchurch. And we can join these two tours to a 20-day package, which we sell also. We just fly them from Wellington, which is North Island, to Christchurch, South Island, to continue the tour. That's pretty much all I've got there. I've got a huge photo library of areas we go to, but whilst people are on tour, they can always add optional activities. For example, Hobbiton, bungee jumping, snowboarding, jet boating, skydiving, you name it. The adventure capitals we visit, both Rotorua and Queenstown, on our tours. So I hope that was not too much talking, but I hope you guys enjoyed that, and happy to answer any questions if need be.
Perfect. Thank you, Jason. It's really great to see how COVID has helped to innovate our industry, and I'm so proud of the ethical stance and the inclusive stance that your company offers the international traveller to New Zealand. I think it's been much needed, and I think it just gives the visitor a real authentic experience when they're on the ground as well. So I'll just give it another minute if there's any questions from anyone on the line. But you know, from what I've been hearing with you is that it's a 12-seater tour, so it's a small group experience. You get to know who you're traveling with. You know, it's a great way to avoid large crowds if you don't want to be around a lot of people in a post-COVID world. And I also wanted to just touch briefly on the types of accommodation for those on the call as well, because New Zealand accommodation is of a very good standard. We talk about motels up here in North America, and they have quite a bad reputation. Well, motels down there have a good reputation, and as do the hostels and backpackers and motor parks as well. So it's a slightly different style of accommodation than what we would think when we hear those sorts of terms. So don't be put off straight away by those types of terms. Just, you know, feel free to ask us any questions if you have those as well. We do have a bottle of wine to give away to one of our lucky attendees, and that's going to go to the first person to sign in today, and that is Sandy Lucas. Sandy, if you can drop me an email with your contact details, and we'll get that sent out to you as well. Fantastic, Jason. Really, again, commend you on the work that you've been doing. It's I think that this is the beginning of a new trend in travel and tourism to be authentic, to be true to ourselves, our principles, and ultimately, I think that the visitor will benefit from that as well. Did you have anything else to add before we wrap?
Yeah, just lastly, I think for people that, and for the agents out there that are looking at selling New Zealand as a destination, the youth and adventure tourism industry is very popular here. We have a great community when it comes to the backpacker youth and adventure tourism industry. So I'm on a board member of that backpacker youth adventure tourism industry and association, and we work highly on creating experiences and making things better for the youth that come here. You know, being able to provide the transport options and the fair and reasonable priced activities for them. We definitely point them in that way if they're looking to travel longer. But yeah, we're excited the borders are open. We've been seeing a huge influx of tourism, and we're really happy to hear the accents and seeing people and seeing them in awe when they see our country. So we want to share our backyard, and we look forward to sharing with more people too.
Absolutely, Jason. And you know, it is true. The tourism infrastructure is strong on the ground in New Zealand. You know, you've got associations like BIATA that you're a member of and a part of the board. So there is security in knowing, sending a young person across the world, that there is professional people who are dedicated to the integrity of our industry and to looking after our clients with the utmost responsibility. So again, thank you everyone for your time. We're going to make this recording available for you. But until then, we say haere rā, kia hoki mai anō. Goodbye until next time. Thank you everybody for coming.
Thanks everybody.